So the first one, it says هذا بيتي, right? هذا بيتي. It means this is my house, right? So the ya is coming from my, right? So okay, let me quickly go through them, and then if I find something interesting, inshallah, I'll ask you. So baiti, ama, what would be ama mal masjidi? Okay, baiti amamal masjidi. And amama, of course, is what? No, yes, preposition, ظرف. You can say both. In Arabic, it will be ظرف, ظرف المكان, the adverb of place. So my house is front of the masjid. Baiti jamilun. My house is beautiful, right? Very simple things. I'll be going through quickly. فيه حديقة صغيرة. حديقة is what? It's what? Who remembers what حديقة means? Garden. Yes, garden. And we have صغيرة. So now, just quick reminder. This is your adjective phrase, right? Yes, small, and it's your adjective phrase. How do we know? Looks like everything is matching, right? All the rules are matching. So, a small garden. Fihi, in it, a small garden. Okay, but or you can translate there is a small garden in it. However you translate in English, that's fine. Few things just I want to remind you. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. It's a little bit tricky. Uh, Honestly, this hadiqa, this is your subject, right? And fihi is your predicate. Okay, and this is just your adjective to your subject. Is something very confusing? Do you understand this? Why it's happening? Honestly, you have to know this thing, otherwise you will have a problem. Sometimes what happens, I don't remember if I mentioned to you. Yes, I mentioned to you that, what is the default? Default, what comes first? Subject or predicate? What comes first? Default is always subject, right? Subject, then predicate. Yes. And what are the default things that we know about subject? It should be definite, and the default is indefinite, right? And then we also know the subject is always nominative and predicate is always also nominative, meaning they will always get dhamma, right? You get it? And what happens is sometimes when we have to say something where the subject is indefinite, right? Here's another rule. This rule is more stronger than subject being definite, because subject can be indefinite, no problem. But the default is that it is definite. But the stronger rule is that you cannot start a sentence with indefinite. Okay. So I'll put a star like can't start a sentence with indefinite noun. Okay. There's ways to do this, but it's not the time right now. But that's the standard rule. So what happens in that situation? That situation, you bring what? You bring the predicate first. Okay. Instead, if you have this kind of situation, you will say the predicate first, and then another way of looking at it in Arabic language. Usually, when you describe a place, this is another very good way of looking at it, and it will help you when you writing something in Arabic. In Arabic, when you're describing something, a place, a desk, a room, a house, a country, anything you describe, usually you start with the place. For example, if I'm to say what's in my room, I will say first, in my room there is a bed, there is a window, there is a door, blah blah blah, right? So I'm not going to say you understand? So in Arabic, that's the most common way of describing something. Okay. Keep that in mind. So that's what's happening here. They're describing what does this ha refers to, guys? What is this who? What is who? Okay, so we have fi, right? And plus who. Remember this attached pronoun, right? You understand? So then, the rule is when you have ya, then you say fi, he anyway. So fi, he, what is this who is a pronoun, is attached pronoun, but the pronoun has to do what? It has to refer back to a what? What does pronoun do? It refers back to what? A noun, right? So what is this noun that who is referring back to? It's referring back to what? This house, right? Of course. No, no, it's kind of, it's good. I have to explain something. First of all, why it cannot be a garden? Let's say even if there was a garden here, why cannot be a garden? Because a garden is female. Okay, hadiqatun. So you cannot have a pronoun that is who. So if it was fiha, okay, then we have a, it might be a garden, but we have to still find out, right? Fi who, that means it cannot be a garden. So it's going back to the house, my house, baiti, right? You understand? So these are the things in Arabic, honestly, I'm telling you, as I read more complex text, I'm warning you, the pronouns are very, very important. You have to know where the pronoun goes, because you will see lots of pronouns floating around. In one sentence, you have fi, ha, like, so you have to be able to find out what this is very simple, because we only have one subject here right now. So that's pretty simple. It's going back to the house, because he's describing, this is my house is front of the masjid, my house is beautiful. Now it's saying in it, what's in it? A small garden. Okay. Now, then now it says هذه غرفتي, right? هذه غرفتي. It's saying هذه because of what? Is feminine, right? غرفة is feminine, right? Just making sure you guys are on the same page. Now, so this is my room. See? فيها, guys. Where does this ha refers to? We had a fihi here, and we have a fiha here. Yes, very nice. See, now you're understanding, because this ha is because Gorfa is feminine. That's why it's referring to the room. Very nice. And remember, it's doing the same structure. This is a very important structure. You have to understand this structure, meaning starting with fihi, ala, alayhi. You understand? So for example, I think I mentioned it, but it's not that easy in the beginning. You have to get very comfortable with this kind of structure. And this is the first little bit more complex structures you are getting. Every time it was simple thing, arrajulu, sagirun, all these things, but now you have a little bit different. And it's very important, because this kind of phrase or structure comes a lot. Okay, most of the time, as I'm keep on repeating, it will happen when you're describing something. For example, I'm saying that there's a pen on my, even if I say um, the pen is on my desk, right? Maybe I should so So if I say the pen is on my desk, and I can also say a pen, which is in English, even you don't say it like that. You will say probably what? There is a pen on my desk. Yes, you understand? See, in the both cases, this is your subject. The pen is your subject, right? You understand this part, right? This is subject, and this would be your predicate. So here is very easy. You can say al qalamu ala, what? My desk. Maktabi. Makta, maktabi. Yes? Everybody's agree with that? Al qalamu ala maktabi. Translation is good? Okay, alhamdulillah. So the pen is on my desk. Now, this is same thing as, I don't have to write, a pen on my desk. You just want to say it like but in English you have to say there is, but it would be the same thing, right? So instead of saying al, I should be saying what? Qala moon. I remove the al, so I have to bring my tanween, right? Qala moon ala maktabi. Yes? How many did do I have here? It's the same thing. The pen is on my desk, or a pen is on my desk. The only difference is there is alif lam, there is no alif lam. Now that's where the problem is, guys. This is okay. You can do this, no problem. This is not okay. Who can tell me why it's not okay? Hmm. Yes, indefinite, meaning you cannot start a sentence with indefinite. Mubtada can be nakira, that's not a problem, but you cannot start with uh, mubtada being nakira. There's a ways of doing it, but in this stage, don't worry about those things. This stage, you should not be starting a sentence with indefinite. First of all, this is not you shouldn't. This sentence, the way it is, you can't. It's not going to be allowed in Arabic language. But what do you do? Here, this is when you have to bring the predicate first. So you say ala maktabi, yes, qalamun. Now everything makes sense? Yes? Now it's good. Did we change our subject? No, guys, we haven't changed our subject. Our subject is still qalam. But here's what I wanted to mention, the reason why I'm spending a little bit more time. Here you can also say that ala maktabi al qalamu. You see? Ala maktabi al qalamu. Although this was perfectly fine, but here you can also say this. When you have the subject being definite, then you have both ways. You can use both ways. But honestly, if you're describing a place, you should be starting like that. But if your focus is on the pen, because somebody's looking for where's the pen, then you can say the pen is on my desk. Then you can say al-qalamu ala maktabi. You see the difference? Sometimes it's not, grammar cannot help you. Sometimes it's the context, intention, what you're trying to convey, that will help you a lot. Like, how do you say it? Somebody asking where's your pen, you say al-qalamu ala maktabi. But if you're describing your room, your desk, okay, then you can start with ala. But why can we write start with the subject, since it has indefinite English too? Meaning, you're talking about this sentence, right? That's what I've been trying to explain to you. This is not allowed. They will not allow this thing. Just as a simple thing, a simple word that is indefinite, it's not allowed. You can make this one a little bit specific. The most specific you can do, like, you put alif lam, then it's specific, but maybe that's not what you want to do. But if you describe a little bit, let's say if you're saying that, the red, blue pen, still they will allow you to do this. But, anyway, I don't want to discuss too much about this thing, because I want you to still feel very comfortable about the basic rule. Because if I give you the exception, you might be tempted to use the exception first, right? So exception comes when you are in a situation that you have to use the otherwise, right? But by and large, you don't want to start like this. In fact, this sentence would be wrong. You cannot, you don't have option in here, right? Here, as I said, you have an option, right? But what I'm trying to say, that when you describe a place, regardless, even if you know it's, even if it's a definite, you should be starting with what? You should be starting with a place. So that's where and there's a special name in Arabic. That's why I'm trying to spend a little bit more time. Don't underestimate this kind of phrase or structure. It will come a lot. In Arabic, it has a very good name. It's called shibh jumla. Like, it's this, because when you start with fi, ala, amama, all of these things, it has a different names. Okay, so just make sure you feel very comfortable. You see this and you know exactly how to translate. Okay, so it says fiha. So now it's talking about the room. In it, nafidatun kabira, right? What is nafida? Nafida is what? Your window, right? Now, and as you can see, and guys, you guys have to be very comfortable with catching your adjectives, right? And he says mirwahatun. What is mirwaha? It's a fan. No, good, nice. Jamila, okay, a beautiful fan. Now, these are clear, not that difficult. Then we have hada sariri, and this is my bed. Wahada kursiyi, and this is my chair. Wahada maktabi, and this is my desk. Good, all simple stuffs. Sa'ati, sa'ati, what is sa'a? So, okay, yes, watch for sure. And then time, just general time. Kamisa, somebody is asking you, what time is it? Kamisa, what time? You want to know what time is it. Then it also means hour, like 60 minutes hour. Okay. And it also means o'clock. O'clock. So for example, if you're trying to say like 6 o'clock, sa'a as-sabi'a. So you're going to say as-sa'a and as-sabi'a. Okay. So make sure you understand all of these meanings, and meanings will be clear which one. For example, in the Quran, when Allah says as-sa'a, it's talking about the hour. We're referring back to the day of judgment, right? Now, okay, so here, of course, the meaning is watch. My watch, wa qalami, and my pen, wa kitabi, and my book, ala al maktabi. See, here, they showing you, right now it's not starting with ala. Remember what I said here? Oh, 1 second. Remember I said you can do both of them here. You can start with, and you can start with the noun, or meaning the subject, or you can start with the predicate. And because, now tell me, how do you know? I don't see any alif lam, by the way. So what's going on? Maybe I should have asked you guys. It says sa'ati. I don't see any alif lam. So why are they starting with sa'ati? The rule is you cannot start with indefinite. Now, so the thing is, when you have idafa, especially when idafa is referring to a definite, which is pronoun, then it is definite. So bottom line is, sa'ati, it's not indefinite, it's definitely definite. Okay, it's absolutely definite. My clock or my watch, everybody knows. Qalami, these are all definite. So that's why in this case, you can start with the noun. I mean, with the subject. Okay, so now they're showing you both ways. So that's very nice. Now, وحقيبتي تحت تحت what? تحت المكتب. My bag is, تحت is what, guys? تحت is under, yes. تحت is under. Beneath is fine, yes. Both of them are fine. The desk. جيد. نافذة. Okay, so that's where the issue comes. That's why I think the last time we had um, this phrase here, right? What I want to do, because the best way to explain right now, instead of spending so much time, is to think about this is a one word. It kind of looks like a one word, although, it's one entity, but there are two words here. If you think about this word, so for example, how do you say it? You said ghurfati, right? And it says nafidha. Now the question is, how do we read this one? Do we say nafidha tun? If we say nafidha tun, then it says a window, my room, open. Maftuha is open, right? So we're gonna have very difficult translating these things. A window, my room, open. window of my room, right? If we say window of my room, then we can solve this problem. Okay, so we want to bring off. When we say off, we need idafa. So here, if you think about this is a one word, then your life is beautiful. It's very simple, right? So you're it's just like, you're adding two, it's just like in two words, right? Qalamu, walad. So you have qalamun, you have waladu. What do? You add together, you make this one tamma and this one kasra. Okay, so we had nafidatun. So you want to add together, you want the window of my room. Okay, so I remove the tanween and I put damma, right? Meaning like I just simply remove the tanween, nafidatu, and you have to put kasra here, and it's already in the kasra, right? But in here it's very easy. But if I explain to you, let me see if I have more examples coming on that. But for right now, to make this thing work, only thing you have to do, and let me see, maybe I'll explain to you. Only thing you have to do is make it into idafa by removing the tanween. Let me finish this one, and then if I have time, inshallah, I'll explain. But only thing I'm saying that it's double, triple idafa. You can make like you can have a chain of idafa. It's not that easy. Okay, the easiest idafa you'll get, easiest double idafa you'll get is this situation when you have this kind of idafa, which is like your possessive pronoun with like my book, your book, and then you have another word. Okay, so leave this one here the way it is right now. Just only thing you have to do is nafida tu. Instead of saying nafida tun, you say nafida tu, because why? It's idafa. The first one is without indefinite, meaning there's no alif lam and no tanween, and the rest one you cannot change anything because it's another type of idafa, right? So you say nafidatu ghurfati maftuhatun. Yes. So a window of my room, or it will be the window of my room is open. Which tun? Tun, the last one, because that's this is not part of idafa. This is just like, for example, if you didn't have this one, you would say ghurfati maftuhatun. Yes. Okay. Let me remove my doodling here. Let's see. Okay. Which one did you think adjective phrase? Well, if they are standby like that, yes, it's adjective, but you don't have an option. If you don't have this thing, then you're right. You're absolutely right. But unfortunately, we have something in the middle. You cannot have an adjective when they're apart. Okay, you understand? Now, interesting. This is another very complicated topic. How do you describe nafida? That's a whole that will ruin your taste of idafa, because idafa, doing adjective on idafa is very very difficult, very confusing. So I'm not going to explain. Okay, the only thing I'll tell you that if you wanted idafa and you wanted its adjective, then this one had to be alif lam. Why? Because nafida is it indefinite or definite in this situation when you have idafa? Hmm? Indefinite or definite? Definite. So that means your adjective also has to be definite. If you just put alif lam here, then yes, you say nafidatu ghurfatil maftuha is still, that means the sentence is not complete. You're saying the open window of my room. Okay, open window of my room. Please continue. What about that? You understand? So that would not be a complete sentence. Uh, that don't go ahead of you, because if you do, I can explain to you, but I feel like it's, even till now, I'm telling you, the adjective of idafa is very difficult, because sometimes you can put adjective of this guy, sometimes you can put it this guy. It's very difficult to know which one goes where. Okay. Yes. Okay, so right now, for what they're giving you, it's not that difficult. It's very simple. Here, only way you can solve this thing is nafida to ghurfati. The window of my room, the window of my room is open. Good. So you read it, nafida to غرفتي مفتوحة. When I saw this one, I knew I smelled trouble the last time I saw this one, because you know these kind of things that get confusing. But don't think of adjective, right? Because adjective, the only thing right now you should be thinking that adjective should be side by side, because we will not be doing adjective of idafa in a long time. So since these two words are not side by side, it is adjective, by the way. Remember, guys, it is an adjective, but what type of adjective? It's not adjective phrase. You understand? When I say the window is open, open is an adjective, but it's adjective, not phrase, a sentence. I can say the boy is small is an adjective, but it's in a sentence instead of saying the small boy. Clear, guys? So for clear? جيد. So the next paragraph we have هذه غرفة أخي. Same situation. Okay. This is, here it says نافذة غرفتي. Here saying غرفة أخي. How would you translate غرفة أخي? If you say it the other way, brother, then you need the apostrophe. Remember? Brother's room. This apostrophe S is the whole thing. Okay, this apostrophe S is the off, which is the idafa. So that's very important, right? Okay, yes, all the translation is fine. Basically, ghurfatu akhi is room of my brother. Yes, that's it. Right now, stick like that. If I go more in details, and why you're putting just why do we have only one dhamma is because of ghurfatu, room of idafa. Exactly. Very simple stuff, guys. Just think about this is another simple one word. If you think about this is another two words, then you think about double idafa, your life will be difficult right now. For right now, just think about this is your one word. Now, so this is the room of my brother. Watilka, tilka is what? Hmm? Tilka is that for female, which is, what is the male? Dhalika. Remember? Dhalika is that for masculine. And why is it saying tilka instead of dhalika? Huh? Because we have ghurfa. Ghurfa is what? Female word. So you're saying that, because it's saying hadihi, this one is my brother's room. That one is what? Dhalik, tilka ghurfatu. How would you read this one? It says ukhti, my sister. Very nice. So you read it because you have only one dhamma, you know it's idafa. You read room of my sister. That's it. Simple. Just keep it simple for now. And inshallah, when time comes, we will talk about double idafa. No, tilka is not for sister. Hmm? What do you think? Tilka is for what? Hmm? Tilka is for what? Yes, tilka is for room. You get it? Because the main issue is the room. You're talking about the room. So this tilka, because you're talking about, you're not saying, good question. So for example, I know the issue is here confusing because this is feminine and both of them are feminine. So you're like, which feminine is referring to? If you say that is my sister's room, even though you said like that, sister's room, but what are you referring to? That room. Basically, remove everything else. You're talking about room. That is a room. You understand? So your ishara, your pointing goes to the room. You're talking about this room. That's why, even if it was, for example, even if it was akhi, okay, even if it's akhi, you will say tilka. Okay, you will say tilka. Uh, yeah, just like that. Tilka ghurfatu akhi, because the ghurfa is still what? Is still feminine. Make sense? Now, then we have ghurfatu akhi kabiratun. It's almost like this sentence we have, right? So this is your subject, and this is your predicate, and this is definite, and this is indefinite. So this is your one sentence. غرفة أخي كبيرة. My brother's room is, or the room of my brother is big. وغرفة أختي صغيرة. Okay, simple stuffs, guys. غرفة أختي صغيرة. So my sister's room is small. غرفة أختي, okay, my sister's, sorry, غرفة أخي, my brother's room, أمام, front of, غرفة, or sorry, غرفتي. Okay, so what does it mean? It's basically saying there's a lot of off going on, right? Saying the room of my brother, front of my room. غرفة أخي, room of my brother, front of my room. In the beginning, that's what you should be doing. Just translate word for, just write all the translation here, and then worry about your English translation later. Okay, because when you do small translation, this is when all of your grammar rules will come in. Because for example, if you just translate like window, a window, it's not gonna work. You see, one dhamma, then you have to translate as idafa. So so go step by step. And here is the same thing is happening. Ghurfatu ukhti, and the room, see, we have one dhamma, so it's not indefinite. It's not ghurfatun, it's ghurfatu ukhti, the room of my sister, amam al madbakh. Subhanallah, those bias, right? I'm laughing because these things are not true anymore these days. Subhanallah, the girls probably stay away from the kitchen. So my sister's room is front of the kitchen. Now madbakh is kitchen, yes. No. Okay, so here is another important thing we have to know. It says li ahun. What is li ahun? Looks very simple, but I'm telling you, this is a sentence. It's a little bit tricky. That's why I wanted to see if you caught it or not. Li here, it means I have. Laka is you have. Okay. Laki is she, you as a female have. Lahu, he has. Right. Remember, we have done the harful jar li, and it says akhun, a brother. Now, can you tell me another way of saying what is? Did we do indi? Did we do this one? Indi? Okay, good. So indi means also I have. Remember, I think I explained to you that indi means I have, li also means I have. But when you talk about, when you refer to your what you have in terms of your family, brothers, sisters, or even friends, you cannot use indi. You have to say li, I have. At the same time, if you want to say that I have a pen, you cannot say li qalamun. You can't say li qalamun. Although meaning everybody knows what you're talking. The meaning is clear. Everybody knows. The meaning is crystal clear. Nobody will be confused. But everybody will know you made a grammar mistake. Okay? And this grammar mistake is a little bit different. It's not like, you understand? So it means like, it's for yes. For now, you can think of for him, and that would be better. If you say li is for something, yeah, human is fine. I have a brother, I have a sister, I have an uncle, I have, yeah, even that's fine. But when you talk about something that's non-human, then you use indi. Okay, clear? So this is not good. So these small two words looks like it's saying I have a brother. Here we have a tanween, so it's a brother. Okay. Now looks what's happening. Now if you a little bit expand, so now you want to read wahidun. What's going on? So what is this wahidun is doing? Who can explain what is this wahidun is doing? What's the role of this wahid? Every word you see in the sentence, you have to know what's his job, what is it doing. Adjective, very nice. Everybody agrees? We thought we ended the sentence, because honestly this wow, I thought it's just and we thought it's and, yes, that's the translation, but looks like it didn't end the sentence. Why? Because we found this adjective. But the issue is, um, even if you don't say wahidun, everybody knows. If you say I have a brother, are you confused? You have a two brothers or not? If you have one brother or two brothers? No. If I say I have a sister, everybody knows I only have one sister. But sometimes I can say I have one sister, and that is for what? That is for emphasis. Okay, so here if you say wahid, it is emphasis. I have one brother. So I'm being a little bit more, I'm pointing out that I only have one brother. Although if you just say li akhun, it's understood. But you can certainly do that. Just like in English, we can do that as well. Okay. So here saying I have one brother. Ismuhu. What is ismuhu mean? What does it mean? A lot of old rules are coming. Ismuhu doesn't mean name, his name. Very nice. So this ha is going back to akh. Yes. Osama. Okay. Remember, guys, somebody was one. You guys wanted to see more names with tamar buta that refers to, the masculine person. Here's you one, Osama. Osama has tamar buta. Looks like female name, right? I think they're doing it for purposely so that it builds your understanding. Okay, because right now we're in chapter 11, right? So you have to understand that tamar buta doesn't mean we're not in that fairy tale land, right? The tamar buta is always, always, always a feminine. So you have to understand that it sometimes, and the cases are very rare, by the way, but at least you should have this concept in your mind that sometimes some of the words can be with tamar buta, but it still refers to a masculine person. And this is the case here. Usama, okay? Muawiyah is one of the Sahabas name, right? These are all with the Tamar Buddha, but refers to masculine person. So I have a brother. I have one brother. His name is what? Osama. Wali ukhtun. See, now they're putting alif lam. Sorry, they're putting Tamar Buddha is why? Because it's adjective to a female person. Li ukhtun wahidatun. I have one sister. What is alif before Osama? What is the alif before Osama? Yeah, so this is Hamza. So it says O Sa Matu. Okay, so this is your Hamza. It's not alif, by the way, because if it's alif, then you cannot. Alif can never start in the sentence, right? In the beginning. Now, Jade. Uh, for example, it's all things, but I keep on trying to remind you guys. This is your. Is this alif? Huh? Is this one alif? Hmm? Yes. No. Very nice. It's not alif. So what is it? Hamzatul wasl, the weak Hamza. Nice. Okay. Which no, anyway, I was talking about this one, the ism, the alif in the ism that looks like ismun. This is not alif, this is Hamzatul wasl, right? Now, okay, so and I have one sister, ismuha. So right now, ha, here we said ismuhu, here we're saying ismuha because it's going back to the sister, Suad. By the way, I didn't think I talked about it. So both of them we have what? We have only one dhamma. Why isn't, because I just told you if it's one dhamma, it means, so why we only have one dhamma here? Why su'adu? Why don't we say su'adun? Hmm? Why here Usama tu? Not, why not Usamatun, Muhammadun, Khalidun? You understand why you cannot put su'adu? So this is a female person's name, so you cannot say su'adun. Okay, so how is it a female if it, uh, yes. So I don't know if this class or next class or other class or what I did this chart, but I'm going to go through this chart one more time because oh, where did I go? Okay, the rule is female, not female, I should be careful, say feminine. Feminine proper name or noun, whatever you want to say. These two words, guys, just focus on these two words. Feminine proper name never gets what? Tanween. Now, this is a rule, right? So everybody's okay with this one. Aminatu, right? Uh, Aisha too. Yes? You guys are okay with this? Okay, good. So the question comes, what about here? Su'adu. I don't see any ta marbuta. Hmm? I don't see any ta marbuta, but it is still what? Feminine proper name. Okay. So remember what I did, word and female. I don't know how I did it, but I think I did something like that. I don't know in this class or not. So the word is feminine, yes? And the person is also feminine. You understand? Amina, the word is feminine. Amina is for the female. The word is feminine because it has ta marbuta. And we also refer Amina with the female person, right? Aisha is also female person. It also has ta marbuta. Suad, is it for female person? Yes. But is the word feminine? Hmm? Does it have ta marbuta? No, it doesn't have ta marbuta. Do you understand? So now the word that we have, Usama, to, what happens? Is the word feminine? Yes. Is it for masculine? No. It is feminine. Anything, if you have any of these things checked box, then it will still will be what? Mamnu minasab. That means you cannot have tanween. As long as, guys, the easiest way to think of is you have for example, I also give you an example, Makkah. Makkah too. This is not a person, but the word is feminine because it has ta marbuta and it is a proper noun. As long as it is a proper noun, this is a proper noun, proper noun, proper noun, proper noun. Okay, this is a proper noun of female, and this proper noun has ta marbuta. Doesn't matter, it will be one of the situation that it cannot take tanwin. Okay. Okay. So main thing to remember, it has to be proper noun. That's the first rule. If it's not proper noun, forget about everything. Number one is proper noun. Yes. Number two, is it a female proper noun? Meaning, is this name used for female person? Yes, then good. Even if it's not, does it have ta marbuta? Yes, still you cannot put ta marbuta. You cannot put tanwin. It's a little bit complicated, but just keep, if I explain, maybe it's gonna be overburdened, but just look at from the word perspective, you have proper name and it has ta marbuta, you cannot put tanwin. Okay, so it's clear. Now we have a few more lines. The last one, or before the last one, we have what? Abi. Abi is what? Abi is my father. Father. You have ab and plus ya. Abi, my father, wa ummi, and my mother, fi tilkal ghurfatil kabira. Fi. Now I have a question. First of all, do you understand? My father and my mother, fi, in, tilka, that, feminine because of gurfa. Now the question is, what do I put here? Okay, I have one answer. It says after fi, kasra should take place. Yes. If you said this, I will drag it a little bit longer so that the concept is clear. You said after fi. Okay, after fi, I see tilka. So it says tilka. So do I put kasra here? The spelling is tilka. Do I put kasra here? You're right. It should be kasra here. But this word, I cannot put kasra. Okay, this is a fixed word. Tilka, hada, hadihi. You cannot put kasra. But imagine in your head that there's a kasra. That means this is genitive. And al-ghurfa, it's adjective. Okay, you can think of badal, but forget about that word. It's adjective. That room. So this is adjective, so that means it will copy. And what happens to this one? This is also adjective, it will also copy. Okay, some of these things, it's not super important right now, but I'm trying to make sure you guys, you know it will be important soon. So make sure you understand these things. Okay, the fee cannot jump here. That's the only thing I'm trying to say. A lot of times, that's one of the mistakes that people think, that this fee is making this one kasra. No, this fee cannot make this one into kasra. Fee cannot jump a word. Fee is making this one into kasra, so it is in genitive. You don't see it, but it's genitive. But this word is its adjective. This is feminine. Tilka is feminine. This is feminine. This is definite. This is alif lam definite. This one has kasra. You better have this one is in kasra also. Okay, the last one. Let's see what we can do. Okay, the translation. Good. Translation is important. My father and my mother is, here's the is in that big room. Okay, so the is there, but when you translate in English, you cannot say that the big room. Okay, so my father and my mother is in that big room. The last one, ana. Ana is I, of course. Uhibbu, we have a verb here. Uhibbu means I love. Yes. A few things I want to explain before I do the translation. This word, this word itself, it says I love. So the I is inside this word. Okay, that's the first thing you have to know, guys. Verb, you have the uh, pronouns built in. Remember what we said? Dhahaba, dhahaba. What is dhahaba? He went. I don't see any hua. You don't need hua. The he is already inside. You understand? So every single verb in Arabic language has pronoun inside built in. Make sense? So when you say uhibbu, yeah, it's a good question. That's so first I want to make sure you understand. That's a good question. So uhibbu, here we already have what? I. So why is ana here? Before we explain, let's just say there's no ana. Okay, let's translate without ana. Uhibbu, I love abi wa ummi, as you translated. I love my brother and I love my father and my mother. So this part is clear. Uhibbu abi wa ummi. Now, question is why ana? When you have this kind of situation, when we have a verb, yes. When you have a verb and you have a pronoun, it is like very light emphasis. Meaning, for example, you can say I love my mom, but you can say I love my mom. If you don't put this one, the sentence is absolutely correct without any problem. And for example, what happened? Where's Anna here? You don't have Anna here anymore. You're saying uhibbu and I love akhi wa ukhti. Now, you don't have to go too much in details, what does he mean? First of all, this is not your literature text that it requires analysis. Why did he use ana? It's not that kind of book. It's not Quran, why each word is there. Sometimes this book is just using something just to show you different ways of doing it. Remember what I said? Sometimes, he used the ala before and ala after. Here, we cannot say the meaning he's saying that he loves his parents too much, but he doesn't like his brother and sister that much. I don't think that's the intention. And honestly, if somebody reads Arabic, they will not get that message. Also, just they're not saying, okay, why is Anna here but not Anna here? Is it because he loves parents more? Nobody will get that kind of impression. It's just that you can put Anna or you cannot put ana. Here you are saying because it's, you can look at another way, because you have a lot of people here, brother, sister, and everything. So he's bringing himself, and then he's just talking about, and then the later he's not mentioning it. You understand? So don't get confused. But by default, you should know that when you have a verb and you have a pronoun, it's usually meant for emphasis. Okay. You understand? Is it clear? Yes, yes.